accountability as a whole is not a widely accepted term. In fact, there are some languages where the term accountability does not exist, or in some languages, responsibility is synonymous with accountability. Using the Adizes methodology, we indicate to the client that accountability is not just responsibility. We need to take into account the capability of the client to perform certain tasks for which they're responsible. So responsibility is not enough in order to hold an individual accountable. That individual has to have the ability and the capacity to perform what they are expected to perform. The initial 3 phases of the methodology, needless to say, are the SINDAG, the SINOR teams, and the POC process. So these 3 phases basically look at the present and the past. But just like in driving, where you cannot drive a car strictly by looking at the rear view mirrors, at one point you have to look into the future, you'll have to look forward, and this is where the next phases of the methodology, phases 4, 5, and 6 come into play, where phase 4 is the creation of the mission, the phase 5 is the development of the structure, the organizational structure, and phase 6 is the building of the monitoring processes or the accountability processes. Within the accountability phase, the idea is to provide management with decision-making information, not just general information. These are proprietary processes to the methodology. We normally use 3 types of processes to deliver the accountability. One of them is financial accountability, which we do through the Blue Book and the Red Book. One of them is performance evaluation through monitoring objectives and tasks, and that is done through the Black Book process. And another process which is not necessarily proprietarily Adizes methodology, but it's a concept or a process that's widely used, is a concept of key performance indicators, which is basically a dashboard for benchmarking performance in an organization. First of all, the Blue Book and the Red Book are not following normal traditional financial statements. Traditional income statement looks at the need of the financial community, of investors, of the banks, of insurance companies, outside people, and what have you. The Adizes accountability process looks at the needs of managers, creating information for decision-making purposes. So it is somewhat different than the traditional income statement, even though we use the same information. The same information is drawn from the financial database, it's just presented in a different way. Each unit that is reflected on the organization chart is required to have a budget and monitor that budget against actual and forecast and vision and what have you. So we are creating and we are focusing on the needs of managers to manage by providing them with information for decision making rather than just general financial accounting knowledge. And this is where the key, when you as a manager look at the information that is provided to you by your subordinates, you actually look at the contribution that each subordinates provide you. You can actually see what each of your subordinates contributes to. Not only that, we can see what each profit center contribute not only to the manager to whom he reports, but to the shareholders, which is an extremely powerful tool. Again, a proprietary tool, which we normally do not provide to the general public. Once we are engaged, we share these tools with the clients and we teach them how to do it.